Hey guys, Bird Yugioh here, coming at you with another deck profile. This time, as apparent by the two cards here, we're doing an Elemental Hero deck, Masked Heroes. We're doing this budget, of course, as we usually do. Not so much Rogue. This is more of a deck you will probably see at some locals and bigger events, regionals and whatnot. But this is no Vision Hero, Ferris, no increase. We're kind of just going back to Masked Hero days, before those cards were released. We make up for it in a lot of ways. I'll show you all those ways, but this deck makes up for, kind of the combo ability of Ferris and whatnot with just pure power. I'll explain that as we go. But that's kind of the point of this channel. Not necessarily to showcase every single elemental hero deck out there right now is playing Ferris and Increase, which amazing cards. They do a lot for the deck, but the main purpose is to kind of, for me, with most decks, is to eliminate some of those high overpriced cards and give you some budget options and some ways of working without those cards that makes the deck either just as good or just completely different. So to start off with, we're of course playing Stratos. I like it at 3 because there's just a lot of ways to get to it. The main reason I like it at 3 is because if you see that and Solid Soldier, you're gaining a lot of advantage. Obviously just normal summoning a Stratos, especially nowadays, doesn't do much good for you. That's why I'm always hesitant to kind of put this at 3. But just the fact that you have Solid Soldier to summon it from your hand, and you have other ways of obviously special summoning Stratos as well, or just summoning it in general. Solid Soldier is amazing because and I like it at 3 because you're basically just gonna special summon a level 4 lower hero monster from your hand. Played 2 Shadow Mist. I've gone back and forth on this one with 3 as well. I feel 2 is just the best because you just have an option with it. If it's in your hand and you have Solid Soldier, obviously you're gonna just search out a Mass Change and special summon Shadow Mist. If you don't draw it, then you can always special summon it and still have one in the deck to then send to the grave later. I think 2 is perfect. And then 1 Honest Neos. It's not your win condition. You don't have to have it, but it's always nice to search one out off of like I Sold or even a Shadow Mist if it's sent to grave. You can search that as well. That's it for the elemental heroes that we play. We play 3 Vision Hero Vion, especially in this build that I'm doing, because I'm also playing 3 Destiny Hero Malicious. Vision Hero Vion just has so many good targets to send to the grave. You can send, of course, Malicious, Shadow Mist. It's just way too good. I always play it at 3 now, especially since Malicious is back at 3. Amazing. It also has a second effect. You can banish 1 hero monster from your graveyard and add 1 polymerization from your deck to your hand. So that again adds just more power to the deck, getting that poly, and then going into some of your elemental hero fusion monsters really gets just a lot of power on the board. And I'm also playing Armageddon Knight and Dark Grepher. Those are again mostly because we're playing the Destiny Hero Malicious, but we also have some a spicy tech I'll show you here in a few cards that just makes these 2 cards specifically amazing. So that's it for kind of the elemental hero, Vision Hero, Destiny Hero kind of engine that we play. Playing some extenders, of course. One of the best ones for any like warrior deck is going to be Neospace Connector, along with the 1 Aqua Dolphin. Opening this, you're going to be able to most of the time rip 2 cards out of your opponent's hand, get sort of hand traps and whatnot if you need to. Beautiful engine, I love it. Blue Mountain Butter Spy, again, it's just another extender. Opening this, and a Stratos. You normal summon this and then special this. It gives you more plays than if you didn't have Butter Spy. So I like it in this deck. And then now for kind of the spicy techs that kind of give this deck a lot of power. Xyz Squire. It's a level 1 warrior tuner, Earth. Basically, I'll just spoil it now. This is for Naturia Beast. Really easy to get into, really easy to make, especially since we have Solid Soldier. You're able to get, because he's an Earth, him and Xyz Squire are going to make a Naturia Beast. This is kind of one of those decks where you just have a lot of options, and so it depends on what you open, what you end on, but you also have the ability to go into different, pathways, your choice, not just by your hand. And the last spice that we play, Overtex Quatlis and Ultimate Conductor Tyranno. That's what I was saying. Armageddon Knight is just even better now, because if you summon this off of an Isold, you have an option of sending a Shadow Mist, or sending Quatlis, searching out the double evolution pill, and then being able to go into Ultimate Conductor Tyranno for just an interruption if you're going first, or obviously for OTKing if you're going second. So that's seems like just it's just 3 cards that are kind of the spiciness of this, but they're going to be they add a lot of power to this deck. And so that is it for the monsters. For kind of our search engine, 3 E-Call, 1 Rhoda. Those are going to search out basically any cards that you really want to see, primarily. 1 A Hero Lives to basically summon out, using Hero Lives on Stratos, really anything, but Stratos or Shadow Mist is going to be just really, really good. Just a free summon. You're paying half your life points, but you're more than likely going to win if that resolves. 3 Mass Change. It's a masked hero deck. We love Mass Change. It can be used, more than once per turn. You can OTK very easily with this. It's an amazing card. 3 Super Poly. I feel this is one of the better decks that's just absolutely abuses Super Poly. And I don't feel like this is going to last much longer at 3. It's such a powerful card. I feel 1 or 2 is probably where it's going to end up, but 3, so take advantage while you can. I would suggest playing this in as many decks as you can, at least in the side deck. Super Poly is just really, really good, and like I said, especially really good in this deck as well. 2 Instant Fusion. We basically just have 1 target for it. Our Carbonella Warrior, but it's an Earth, level 4. So again, it helps us make Isold, of course, since it's a warrior, or Naturia Beast. So Instant Fusion's really good, and then we play Isold, like you saw. So I'm playing my 5 equip spells: Phoenix Blade, DDR, Moon Mirror Shield, Autonomous Action Unit, and Axle Fools. 5 is especially good in this because you can use Isold, send 4, and then also for drawing 1. If you happen to draw 1, you still want something to send, but you also could send 1 and then special summon out your Xyz Squire if you happen to have another level 4 Earth. You're then going to go into Naturia Beast. Double evolution pill, we only need 1. It's searchable, really, really good. 1 Monster Reborn, 1 Foolish Burial. We got a ton of targets for both of those. And then the last 2 are going to be Polymerization, easily searchable, and then Miracle Fusion. Those both just kind of contribute to massive, amazing boards that'll just destroy your opponent. So that's it. No traps. Don't need traps in a deck like this. We got our negates and our power from all the monster cards that we play. Extra deck, 2 Dark Law, 1 Anki, because basically with these three, you know, if you have a mass change in hand, you're going to be going into Dark Law, mass changing that into Anki. Anki, if it destroys a monster, it's going to search another mass change, and then you're going to change him into another Dark Law. So that's just a lot of damage on board, and a lot of power, obviously. Dark Law is amazing. There's a lot of decks that most of the decks nowadays want to send to the grave, and if you're banishing those cards, they're gonna hate you for it. I like, for my Wind Masked Hero and the last Masked Hero I play, Masked Hero Blast. This guy, if it's special summoned, you can target one face-up monster your opponent controls, and its attack becomes half its current attack. And once per turn during either player's turn, you can pay 500 life points and target one spell or trap your opponent controls and return to the hand. So this is going to enable some OTKs and just get rid of some problematic spell or traps that might interfere with your battle phase. So I felt it was necessary just for some added power. For the Elemental Hero cards, the Shining, you know, you have cards in your main deck that you can make this with, but also if your opponent's playing a light deck, you can use Super Poly and go into this guy. Absolute Zero, really, really good, you know, if you're playing against a water deck. Also, your target, you could also use Aqua Dolphin. He's a water, so you have a few ways of using that. And we got Vision Hero Adoration. He's again going to be lowering the attack of an opponent's monster, so he just helps enable some OTKs. And then he's also a dark, so you can mass change him, you know, into one of your other masked heroes. And then Vision Hero Trinity, again, OTK for days with this guy. And then another Super Poly target, Starving Venom Fusion. I decided not to play. I more or less ran out of room. The Dragostapelia. It's a good idea to probably side it in case you're playing against, you know, decks that would be good against. But this is for dark decks, which are most decks nowadays. So this is going to be pretty good against that. And you already saw it, but our instant fusion target is Carbonella Warrior. Now for the links, we only play two. I feel you're primarily going to be wanting to go into your fusions, but I Sold is really, really good in this deck, really, really important. And then one Star Yugioh, super easy to get into, and you'll find that special summoning from the hand comes up quite a bit, and it does, you know, like with a Stratos in hand, you can special summon it and then get its effect off from Star Yugioh, so Star Yugioh is really good. And then our rank 4s, Dugaris, special summoning from the grave, or just, you know, some draw power and discarding a card, really comes up in this deck as well. Abyss Dweller, you know, you can sometimes end a board with Dark Law and Abyss Dweller. That's kind of redundant because they're not going to be having anything in the grave, but you know, it's possible. And then the last card we play in the extra deck is Naturia Beast. So, you know, obviously ending a board with Dark Law and Naturia Beast is amazing, or, you know, Dark Law and Ultimate Conductor, you know, ending with any combination of these three cards, you know, those two is awesome. You know, those two, ending on those two is pretty awesome. That's kind of our goal with this deck. At least going first, you know, you want to end with at least two of these, and it's, I'm telling you, pretty easy to do with this deck. Very consistent, especially if you can get into I Sold. That's going to just help you out a lot. But yeah, that's the deck, guys. Hope you like it. Again, you know, we don't play the Ferris or the Increase. It's not because, you know, I feel they're not good or anything. It's just trying to give you guys some different options, different ways of playing decks, looking at decks, give you guys just different ideas. You know, always a good thing to just keep coming up with different stuff. You know, not the same old deck profile that you see every day on everybody's channel. Giving you guys some more food for thought, some more stuff to get you thinking in more competitively. So you guys have probably noticed that I do budget rogue decks. That's pretty much all of them. But I hope you've also noticed that I'm making these all with a lot of thought involved, and I would honestly take any deck on my channel to any locals, and most of them I'd probably take to a regional even. That's how confident I am in card choices and just, cutting expensive cards, not for just the sake of cutting them, but, to just play a deck differently, than everyone else is playing it. But that's that deck, guys. If you like what you see, go and subscribe. And we'll catch you guys in the next one.